So we'll just talk to each other's.
Correct. It solves the world's problem. I like that.
Okay. Oh, we're a little.
Here we are.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah, no one else is in the meeting yet, so.
Okay. As
Okay.
long as we're live, we're good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sweet.
I have to laugh when I was a kid.
And it's live streamed, right? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, it's taped, so.
Yes, yeah, streaming and we'll have the video on YouTube for people to watch. later.
Okay, cool.
Nothing like those YouTube videos to watch.
It's extremely helpful and kind of why I'm like, I would love to have gone back and go, wait, what did we say about this?
Yeah,
Which is why
it is helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from the first benefit of, the public gets to be.
Well, we were laughing, we were laughing that I was in a meeting and there's about 50 people in this group. And somebody had to be the secretary and take minutes, but it's not, I said, you can sit in your home later and watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. So, oh shoot, I didn't bring the minutes. I meant, you guys were okay with the minutes, right? I can post them on now? Okay, I'm just gonna say okay. Cause. Yeah, so what, number 2, you wanna summarize our meeting that we had with Bangor?
Yeah. So I think it went well. They're very happy and excited to collaborate. I think that their focus right now is getting their LOIs in so that they can kind of determine what direction they want to go for focus of where they're putting most of the money that they're going to be handing out. I think they've got $500,000 to hand out now.
Right.
So I think once they start getting the LOIs back, we're gonna set up another conversation with them so that we know who's interested in getting money from them and what kinds of projects. And then as we start to roll ours out, kind of having like a parallel timeline track. So there'll be conversation once we close the applications and just kind of judging out sussing out, I should say, who applied for what and encouraging people to apply to both Bangor and Penguin. I know I'm not in camera good side, I'm gonna slide over here just so I'm not looking through Pat's head.
It's weird. That's all they I agree.
There we go. So yeah, encouraging people to apply to both Bangor and Penobscot County, and then we can kind of work with Bangor to make sure that projects get funding, either solely from Penobscot County or solely from Bangor or a little bit from both. We'll figure that out as we go along. But definitely, I think there was high interest in beyond this first round of RFPs to really look as collective money between the two entities receiving money so that what bigger projects could get done with the money coming in. Given the information from the workshop, from the county commissioners workshop, I'm not sure how much or what their thought process is beyond this RFP round with the $400,000 total money that we're going to be able to recommend allocation. And where they're anticipating the rest of the funding that'll be coming in is going to what their wants are. So there's high desire to work together, I think is the point.
And we do have a question on the app that says,
Yes.
does it say, in refresh my memory, does it say receive or intending to apply?
So right now it reads, scroll down to that part. It says, okay. Okay, it says in the budget section, have you already received opioid funding for this project? From whom, how much, for the same project or a different one? And then another question is, what other sources of funding do you anticipate or have been awarded for this project? So if they've applied to someone,
So can we add the word applied
yes.
somewhere? That way we know that they have applied for both. Because you don't want to duplicate. I mean, you may, again, I don't know how to word it, but you know what I mean? Again, if they're getting, $100,000 from Bangor, and then we give them, $100,000, what exactly you're doing with this too? It's now become a $200,000 budget, and I always get concerned when your money for the majority of your funding comes from one source. And basically, if it's Bangor and us, it's almost
One
more.
source.
Yeah, so,
'Cause-
yeah, so I would put in there just for clarification, or have applied.
Right.
Have you
okay.
already and or applied?
Yes, that,
Right.
yeah,
Already received and or applied,
yeah.
right?
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, I reworded that to say, have you already applied and or received opioid funding
Yeah.
for this project?
Yeah.
Applied for, right?
Because if they've received it from the recovery council
Correct.
too, that also matters.
Yep, it does.
Um,
I'm also gonna add over what period of time, because some of them are multi-year.
Yeah.
although this funding is only,
Right, but if
You
they've
know.
already applied or
Yeah.
received money from like the recovery council, it might be multi-year.
right?
Yeah.
So
see,
we would wanna know that.
Yeah, they're 2 years. Some of the prevention grants are 3.
Yeah.
And some of the other ones are almost all 2. There's very little that was one-time funding.
One of the things they brought out, which makes sense, because there could be instances that they were saying that could either be Bangor or right outside of Bangor, like Brewer, like Barn.
Yep.
That would be a good collaboration because of where it's positioned. So they're not going to necessarily help fund Millinocket, so it would be because of the proximity of it, and that makes sense. And that's what we did too with ARPA, is that we would share things that were here in Bangor. So yeah, I mean, obviously it went really well. I feel like we actually will be done quicker because they, I think we already know what we want to do with the money, as far like, there's no need to put out a letter of intent because it's kind of clear what organizations we have. We don't have a lot. So I think that our application is going to be pretty much out there. I know that it would be nice to do it in tandem. We're just gonna be done faster, that's all. So I don't think we need to wait on them on
Right.
that. And
I don't think we would.
yeah, and then we can just, obviously work with them and such. So,
Yeah, I'd hate to hold us up to
no, yeah.
for those
exactly.
reasons. And the letter of intent is a nice concept. I just don't see it.
It just
I think
takes longer to get
using
stuff
it
done.
As like their survey of needs, or assessment of needs versus like truly, we're gonna say yes or no to whether or not you can apply like a true.
Yeah,
intent.
and that, like, the Recovery Council sent out a letter of intent
Right.
Yeah,
only because we weren't sure of the scope of our work.
Right.
And
right.
so what we did was, and then we could weed out at the same time, there was projects that would not be allowed under the funding. So they were told immediately,
Don't even apply.
don't apply, you
right.
don't qualify with this project. And so, but the letter of intent really was to no workload.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was all. But I don't think at this point we're offering $400,000.
Exactly.
And then we
Right.
have a cap. Are we still having the cap at 50?
for the first round,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
49,999.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're gonna,
Right.
so at that point, you're gonna get smaller projects.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or additions to current existing projects.
Right, it'd be more of an expansion.
Yeah.
Of existing.
So the part that's changed to that is that it's not the 1.2 that we're putting on the app, we're putting 400 because that's what they're comfortable with releasing. And it says it could be a draw process. It undoubtedly will be, for just so that we know that they have the funding in place. Especially if they're getting funding from another source and the job is bigger, it'll give us an opportunity to see, well, how much do you need? you know, and we're not gonna cut a check, obviously, in that case, until we understand that the finances are gonna be available to do the project at all.
So
So
that,
that
and you
was
said it's
something
a
they
draw
said.
process?
I'm sorry?
You said it's a draw process?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, if it's something like, we need $1,200 for this, we're not gonna give a draw for that, you know,
Right.
like that's small, but if it's contingent upon getting financed from other sources too, I really see that as happening and makes sense.
Yeah, I think the amount of money that they're asking for is like probably
Right.
just that upper tier, I would think that would be more of
Yeah.
a draw process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I have not had a chance to go back and watch the workshop yet. Was there anything else that we needed to know from their from the commissioner's point of view? Questions we asked?
One of the things which we had talked about in our email was on the first part of eligible applicants, there was that point of nonprofit or for-profit. And they wanted to know if we had an idea as to who could any of these for-profits be? You know, like could they, because they're adverse of giving money to, like, say, a big hospital or something that already has a lot of funding, or even if it's not a larger for-profit, can they get grants in other ways, whereas some of these others cannot get grants, right? You know, and they're struggling to get grants. So
Like
obviously we're trying to help.
agency that provides treatment for SUD.
So it is my understanding, I could be wrong, majority of the medication assisted treatment programs, MATs, are for profit. And I'd hate to disallow that, particularly if, say, for instance, I'm an MAT program, I'm a for-profit company, and my grant dollars is, I'm gonna set aside $20,000 to pay for uninsured. I think that's a good use of money. And again, even for-profits have a limit to what they have. And again, that's the only thing that whenever I hear, you know, looking at for-profits, is that the MATs in general are for-profits.
Right.
And they may have some excellent ideas.
Well, if we were even considering going back to one of our first meetings, talking about having a mobile
Correct.
MAT van, like not us, but in order to asking for
Correct.
funding for that, so that MAT can be pushed out into the rural spaces.
Yep.
That would probably be a for-profit company looking at that.
Right.
So it's startup costs for a new expansion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's why and again, when we look at their finances, we can certainly review that as we go through the grant. Again, I just, you know, and I know for a lot of times that companies are for profit, they get a bad rap. They're not all greedy.
right.
No.
It's just a business plan.
Well, we talked about
Yeah.
that too. I said, you know, Fresh Start started as a nonprofit
did.
and switched over, and they look at,
For profit.
I'm sorry, it was a for-profit, and yeah, and think of what he's done, you know, or what
Yeah.
they've done as a group. And so there are instances where, and to me, it cannot hurt putting
Yeah.
for-profit in there.
Right.
This is going to be something that you're going to, or whomever is going to be going to the meeting next, because I won't be here, so. The points that we're gonna go over in here, think about how you wanna develop that, because these are some of the things that they
Yep.
brought up. And I don't think that they went over this very
The
well,
application?
to be honest. I know I'm public, but I'm gonna say that. I don't think that they did go over this, like,
Right.
to the extent that I had hoped that they had have gone by the time I met with them. So hopefully, you know, I mean, now, yes.
Yeah.
It's been brought before them. They know we're
Mhm.
meeting, that they need to go over this. They need to clarify what it is that they're not wanting to either address this time or ever, or however they want to do that. So there was only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 points that were brought up at the time, so. I don't know how deep you're gonna be able to do it. As far as getting them to discuss all of these points, and I think that they do trust us, obviously, you know, to know what we're doing. I think if just something pops out and they're like, you know, either I have a question about that, or that seems like not something I wanna do, then that'll come out. But I think too, so to me, the big one that is out is on page 6,
Okay,
and that is the expanding syringe service programs.
okay. I feel like I remember hearing part of this conversation, and as far as like
Yeah,
page
please.
6 and 7 go, those were just like suggested things.
Yeah.
Those aren't the extent of it. It was just examples of what they could apply for funding for.
But they can't in this, is what what they're saying. They could if they were going to the main recovery council, but for us,
The
they-
commissioners don't want to fund.
that is correct. They do not want to fund syringe services.
So,
Let me guess, Scott's coming to try to calm me down.
okay, so
I,
is there an objection to a core strategy, say expanding harm reduction programs?
I don't think there's any problem in any of the way that we're working to get things funded. I'm just saying that would be one of the things that they would not be comfortable funding. And one of them is very strongly against it. So it's totally up to you if you want to talk to them about it, you know. Hello, Sanborns. I don't mind what, you know, I'm for anything that helps, but, and I have seen programs that others are very much behind, you know. I'm just telling you that was one thing that was asked to be removed from the application.
I think I'd like to know more about what they're picturing
Yes.
this, like a syringe.
It would be
service
like
program.
what had been mentioned, like the buyback program, handing out syringes so people could do drugs. That's how they, I'm not gonna say they. That's how it has been viewed. So yes, if you could provide more clarification to them as to what that would be, because sometimes education is all it takes.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I just find it ironic. You have Bangor, which currently is, it has an HIV
Yeah.
outbreak that you can directly correlate to dirty needles.
yeah,
And so again, you already have it as a health crisis in your area, but yet you want that removed, which again seems odd to me. Again, in core strategies, as I look at this, I think it's important because by evidence-based programming and by research, we know that harm reduction saves lives. And the purpose of the opiate settlement was that too many people died.
mhm,
And so if we know that harm reduction saves lives, if we exclude harm reduction from this grant, we're not truly looking at the picture. And again, the whole idea of this opiate settlement, which some people will say was gotten because people died. It's, I hate the expression, but it's blood money.
mhm.
And so
Right.
I think as a committee, we have to look at what are the strategies in our area, in Penobscot County, that serves everybody.
Mhm.
And so when you use that expression, all roads to recovery are important. Why are
I
we
mean it.
excluding one with no evidence
Mhm.
to say why? So why is that? And if you, can we at least put in the least of my thing, I just assume leave it the way it is, but at least put in a core strategy as harm reduction and go from there. And if somebody applies with a syringe program, it scores what it is, the ultimate say does go to the commissioners, they can determine that. But in the meantime, we as a committee are keeping those funds open for all of the pillars to apply to save lives.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that if you want them to approve an application, it needs to say what they want it to say. And if we change it, they will not approve the application. I don't want to hold it up.
Yeah.
I would say that it absolutely 100% go to the meeting
Yeah.
and just, that's really all it takes sometimes is just education, because I've had moments where I heard something and I was like, what did you just say?
Mhm.
You know, like, but once it was explained, oh, okay, well, they were thinking of something completely different. So sometimes just educating is
Yeah.
the best way. So,
And if I think of, the legal exchange programs, the SSPs, like the Recovery Council, and I keep referring to it,
Mhm.
they gave money to the SSPs for flex dollars, which meant they could help people they were working with pay rent. They could help them
Yeah,
buy food.
absolutely,
They
right.
could fix the car that says I can't get to my job. So they were making connections with people and because federal dollars are sometimes so restricted,
Yeah.
they
absolutely,
can't. So this flex money was able
Hmm.
to do things that they couldn't have done under the restrictions under federal guidelines
yeah, right.
and federal grant. Not that they were doing anything illegal, but what they
Yeah.
were doing was being able to help people to that point. So
Well, it's building the bridges and providing access.
Yeah.
It is like literally bridging the gaps where people otherwise wouldn't be able to access recovery.
And just because I cannot speak for anybody, but just from what I got was they're looking at it as, and this is like a they as far as not just commissioners, because I'm not going to speak for them either. They may not all be in agreement with this. I have no idea. So, but to me, when I thought of it, I thought, I wonder if, the way they're looking at it is it's not harm reduction because you are allowing them to continue using drugs, right? You're giving them clean needles so they can continue to shoot up. This is a problem, right? So that's clearly that must be the reasoning behind it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it is best for you guys that really understand the program and can really discuss the benefits of the program.
Yep.
It's not what you think, do that, because I think that is important. I think it's important to discuss that and get over whatever that fear or, misunderstanding is.
The next meeting for the commissioners is next Wednesday, the
Yes.
17th. It's
No, is it?
That's the third Wednesday.
it's a
Do
Wednesday.
we have 5 Wednesdays this time?
No.
We do not.
You
Okay.
have 4.
Okay, so yeah, it's the first and third Wednesday, but no, I don't think that's right. And I think it may be because there's a convention conference.
I thought
Oh, the 19th or something, is it?
Yeah, and I think they're leaving. Or, you know what I mean? Like they're leaving early. Let's double check because I do believe that they might have changed it to later. Okay, we'll just check.
Hey Scott, if you're listening.
Yeah. What's that date?
Put that in the chat,
When-
Scott.
Yeah.
Actually, Mary, I don't know.
Yeah, because for me, and I can only speak for one person on this advisory committee, is I'm not comfortable with just nixing it until I at least have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely fair. I think before changing anything, really, like if you have I don't know, that doesn't sit well, talk about it.
Yeah.
Just have an open,
Yeah.
I can email you guys with that, but have an open conversation about it. I knew that it was not going to be a conversation that I personally could just have with them
Yeah.
when they needed to look over that application
Yeah.
more. And there was no point in going further too much. But I'm gonna say that, we'll put that down, that you want to discuss it first.
Yep.
Okay. And then as far we'll find out when we meet again, but the only other part. Oh, they also didn't want to finalize it, of course, till we had our rubric down. So,
Okay, so let's
okay.
look at the rubric.
yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything else that I read, put a red line under to talk about later. So those were, those were little ones, so.
So we can plan to do that, go to the commission meeting and talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm hoping it's on the 17th, because
Okay.
I can
Uh.
actually have time then.
Let me actually, let me, Scott.
But yeah, well, while Wendy's connecting, as far as the rubric goes, it was pretty much what Moss had sent to us. The only thing was that only the first like 3 categories had descriptors to them of like questions to consider for what this means.
Yeah.
And I did a draft of like the rest of them of questions that we would consider regarding these different categories. I know that one thing that we brought up was that the rubric wasn't going to be the end all be all, because there would be extenuating factors
Right.
beyond just the application.
Absolutely.
And I think one of them was strongly touched upon was the geographic area.
Yeah.
Of if we don't have anything funded in that area of the county, that we want to look at like putting money across the county, not just centralizing it around Bangor.
Oh, no, then we wouldn't do that anyway.
Number 5 on the 4 on the rubric is priority population and geographic area.
Absolutely,
So that's included
yeah.
in the rubric.
So it's included.
Yeah, it's
And it said it was Penobscot County, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It said Penobscot County in
Yeah.
our applications.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes sense.
The priority goes to, well, it's only Penobscot County, but yeah, geographic location.
But we should kind of lay out in our application, because this was kind of more generic questions.
Right.
Does the application clearly define the geographic area to be served? Does the proposed project operate within the assigned subdivision's geographic area? Does the application identify the specific priority population? Does the organization demonstrate a clear understanding of the priority population's needs, characteristics, and cultural context? Is there evidence of the organization's prior experience or established relationships with the priority population? Does the application provide a rationale for selecting this specific geographic area and priority population? So it's less our desire to spread money out. It's more of the applicant. Why are they doing it in the area that they're doing it? Do they have a history of this kind of project in that area and already established relationships with people within that population or that geographic area? And then I think like the layer on top of it that isn't part of like necessarily the rubric is how many projects have we funded in that area within that pillar?
Correct.
So maybe that's, do we want to add a question in that, like question to consider?
You may
Because
want
I feel
to,
like it's, the way I thought we were doing this too is that we would get all these applications in, each of us would take the rubric and score it according to our reading of that.
correct.
And then we would take an average of the scores.
Yes.
Then when we have all of them scored, then we do that extra layer of how many have scored high in this area of the county within this pillar, yada, yada, and then make that determination rather than put it as part of the rubric, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can make a statement, I think, in there somewhere. That the advisory committee will take under consideration in awarding the grant. Geographic area, special population, and the distribution of funds between the pillars.
We did put that.
Yeah, I think it is. And so that gives us the right to say, well, nobody, we know that there's a need for such and such in this area. We put all our money into treatment, nothing into harm reduction, nothing into recovery.
Yeah.
We want to be able to say that all of those are important. And we want to be able to distribute. Yep.
Yeah, there is a sentence in H in the scoring process in the actual application that says extra considerations for selected applicants include but are not limited to geographic program project needs and available resources, funding or resources needed for the recovery pillar, opioid remediation gaps in the community, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that kind of covers it.
I think that covers it. Again, and then when it's awarded, I mean, there isn't an appeal process, but people can always say to you, what happened here? Well,
Right,
this
yeah.
is how
Right.
we came across it, yeah.
And just because you don't receive funding the first round does not mean that you can't apply for a second.
Correct,
Which is
another
why
round.
there isn't a
Appeal process, right? Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Who is our contact again? Is her name Mackenzie?
Yeah,
Yes,
Mackenzie.
Okay, Mackenzie, okay.
um. Okay, so. I did send out these scoring scales rubric to everybody a while ago. I can share it again. If that's of interest to everyone. I had started putting it into like an actual form that we could fillable type
Yeah.
idea, so that we could easily have that for all of them. And I can finish doing that too. So it'll be really clear what are the questions that you're considering and what does giving a score of 5 or exemplary mean?
Yeah.
4 good, 3 satisfactory, 2 poor, or I'm sorry, 2 needs improvement or 1 poor. And then an availability for comments for each one of those sections. So I'm happy
that
to
sounds
finish doing that so that that can be something that the committee can use ongoing. And that would also hopefully help the commissioners understand why we scored things the way that we did and the
Mhm.
recommendations that we're making.
Mhm.
So.
And I'm assuming all of this is online, will be online.
Yes.
And I do know that the Moss Center has some of that stuff already done.
They sent us the form and a scoring rubric thing, but it looks like it was accessed as if you are the applicant, not using the application, so I couldn't like duplicate it or
Yeah.
anything.
Right,
You may want to contact Mackenzie, she may
Yeah.
already, because when I talked to Lindsay,
oh, and here's a question too, when you contact Mackenzie, can you always put us as copy us all in?
Mhm.
That way, when she responds, we'll all hear it, we don't have to keep asking,
What
yeah,
happened? What did you think?
yeah. That would be great.
Yes. I can certainly do that. So would you like me to contact Mackenzie and just ask for that?
The clarification for the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that.
because I know she helped one of I know they helped one of the counties do all the scoring.
And the other most recent email, I think that she responded to your most recent request, Pat, about the changes with the reporting
Yeah.
and that kind of thing, that
Yeah.
they'll help us when they're still trying to judge it out on their
Okay.
side.
Yeah, because they are the organization that will be in charge of doing the forms that will go to counties and whatever. So she said she'd help us when they had that.
Yeah.
And from what I gather, they're trying to make it as simple as possible.
Right,
But we all know that sometimes that doesn't happen.
Well,
But
with the government.
but they are trying.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that was one of the things the legislation did here, was that counties were saying, please, no more additional,
Yeah.
administrative burden. And so they promised that it would be simple.
Yeah.
So let's hope.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I believe too, it would probably be very similar to any grant where you have to provide receipts and
Yeah.
things like that, but I think that the other was more of like, this would be great if you guys could tell us how many beds there are and how many blah, 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 but
Right.
is not
The
required.
impact, what is the impact?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's helpful, but is not required. So
But measuring
it would
impact
be,
is-
yeah, it
is
would be
required.
nice.
Right.
Measuring
Yeah.
impact is required under the statute.
Maybe is that something we should add?
That
in
is
the
important to
application?
find
Like,
out
how
what
are
kind
we
of
going to
detail they
measure the
want.
impact?
It
Yeah.
probably is, because that is, I believe, in statute, in the MOU, that you have to do assessment and have to say what impact you're having
Right.
on it, and yeah,
I think
And
that
maybe
could be
they're
part
still
of the
finding all of that out, like what's required, but yeah.
and if you put that in there, you can also put a word requirement in there.
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Put a word requirement in there. We don't need,
Good for all.
we don't need 12 pages of
Oh
telling
my
you what the
goodness.
impact is.
Yeah, right.
Just do it in
Oh.
a succinct.
We already did. I
So, oh, see, there it
Yeah.
is.
How will you collect and or track data related to your objectives?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and that's a 200-word max, so
There you go.
keep it simple, guys.
and once we have that, that's great.
Yeah.
Dude.
Uh-oh, what do we do?
Oh, when's the next
You
meeting?
got, you gotta share it?
No,
No, you just do the
Nobody's-
link,
oh, it's right there.
so it's.
Oh.
Okay. Good morning.
When's our
Does that link,
meeting?
sure?
Oh, you sir, morning.
When's our next meeting? For the commissioners.
24th.
I did.
Oh, the
It is.
24th, okay.
Okay, I thought so because it's because of the conference, right? There's
Yes.
nobody online.
Yeah.
Okay, September 24th. Is the next, okay,
And what time?
so. It's
So
usually
you
10.
are you waiting for the sheriff?
I
or-
want the agenda, no, we just have it. It's just going.
We just go. We don't wait for anybody.
Okay.
Time,
Nine.
TikTok, TikTok, right?
No, it says 9:30.
I saw it somewhere, it said 9:30, yeah.
9:30,
See?
the notice said.
So I thought it was at 9:30,
Oh.
and luckily last night I went to reread some and said, no, it says 9, so it must be somewhere it was 9:30.
Yeah,
And then.
that's weird.
My
That's
husband
right,
said, "On
though.
your calendar is 9:30, and I thought,
That's true.
it said 9, so.
well,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
you know
so
what, I've got a hard
funny, cause
stop.
I got here at
Okay,
9.
all right,
Okay,
you got a hard stop at 10.
I'll get out, so there is a link somewhere,
There is,
It's
okay.
online, it's on, it's.
can you send that to the sheriff?
And if you can confirm on the September 24th at 10, because Jamie, if you can't go, I may have to rearrange some
Okay, I'll
stuff
say
so I
what
can go.
time. I think it is 10, we usually
Yeah.
get 10. So I'm gonna put what time?
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
Oh, you guys, that's probably my fault, because I know I put, we're meeting at 9 and then, but I'm looking at my agenda and it says 9:30 and I don't even know where I got that.
It was funny because it was on my calendar on the Google. My husband,
The
said,
Google.
it says 9:30, it said, but this says,
Ay.
oh, well,
We'll get it down.
hey, we're fine.
I wish there was always like, well, for us, it's always been 9, but I wish there was always like.
We
so
probably
hard when
should
you're- It's
establish,
gonna be at 10 or
Yeah.
it's gonna be at 11.
we should establish something, that way we know.
For us, I think 9 is great.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was just on
All
me
right.
probably.
We were on the rubric,
Yes.
Yes.
and you don't think the commissioners reviewed the rubric at all? And that's why they have
No,
no
because,
comments?
well, I think because we hadn't decided we were done with the rubric, so they were gonna look at it. When, if we got rid of something or something, there's no point in them looking at it,
Okay.
yet, so yeah. But yeah, as soon as we are good with the rubric, cause those things are gonna go in tandem, right? The rubric and the app will just
Right.
put it out there and,
Right.
yeah.
It doesn't, I mean, we haven't really changed anything at all on it.
Yeah, and we liked it, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. That's why I was just like, let's finalize it, like, let's just say that, if we're good with it, let's run with it. so
Yeah,
that we don't-
let's, I'd vote for submitting it to them and then see
Yeah,
what,
I think it,
see if they have any comments, but other than that, I'm fine with it.
and I feel like we really extricated anything we didn't, think was gonna work with our
Yep.
county,
Right.
thing anyway, so.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna say we are good with the rubric.
I can PDF these
Good, thank
to
you.
everyone after we're done with this. Should I,
Okay, so I'm gonna say.
Wendy, should I send it, like, when I PDF the application, the rubric to all of us, should I also send it to the commissioners as well? Just so that, I mean, cause we have finalized.
Yeah, I mean, well, what we'll do is we'll send it to Mary Ann and Scott, because anything that we're going to send to them, we will usually give it to Mary Ann. Mary Ann makes sure it's in their binders.
Okay.
So
Okay.
once, like, if we're good, we're gonna like, okay, here's this, here's the rubric, here's the application, we are ready for you to say yay or nay.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right,
Eh,
okay,
morning press.
so Pat, you're gonna be able to meet with
Yeah.
commissioners on the 24th.
Yeah,
So
make sure, cause I have to rearrange things, so just make sure we can get on that agenda and what time. And then I can,
Okay,
rearrange
Pat will-
things.
Be. And I will email you the time.
Yeah.
And the agenda. CC meeting. Email time. To Pat. Okay,
Guess into numbers 6.
okay.
That's number 6.
Number 6 is choose the next meeting date. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pause us for just a second too, because we do have some of the public in the room. And I wanted to
Excuse me.
open it up if you guys would like to share anything, if you had any questions, comments, etc., or just here to listen.
No, I mean, the reason I'm here, my county commissioner Marshall asked me to attend, so I'm kind of confused. I'm here listening, always to learn something, my chauffeur.
It's always good to have a chauffeur.
I will point out that I spent a lifetime with bidding and rubrics. And I'll tell you one thing, the rubric itself is designed to be neutral. However, it's only as neutral as the people who are doing the scoring. I can absolutely tank every one of you with one category and get what I want from my friends.
Which is what I think is once we get this approved, that we do a little education session with people on the advisory committee, maybe from the Moss Center.
Yep.
About scoring grants and that kind of thing, conflict of interest, kind of, really, what is your job as a grant reviewer? And it's really hard, I think you're right, Harry, when it comes to reviewing grants, sometimes you have, Maine is one small town. You see a name and you say, oh, or you say excellent, but you do have to score what's in front of you. And that's the hardest part, and I've had to do that before, as a grant reviewer, look at something and say, I know this agency is better than that, but this is what's on the piece of paper. And I have to score what's on the piece of paper, not on what my
Not what-
affiliation is, and that's why it's important, one, to state right off your conflict of interest. And what that is, and to give people, a chance to back off, but I really think, and I know the Moss Center does it. They do a mini education session on reviewing grants and separating fact from internal stuff, which is hard, it's Maine.
Being
Yeah.
a grant reviewer, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
picking and choosing now, because, whoever's sitting at that table. It's sad, but.
But it's true, and again,
It's
when
just-
you know that this one reviewer loves this. You can't help but say, again, and I don't think we've weighed anything.
No, there's no
So-
weight to it.
Yeah, and so for sometimes when you look at it, they'll say budget is 10% and this is, 70%. We haven't weighed anything in the rubric. It's pretty equal,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
The way that this rubric is set up, it's judging this application for completeness, for did they truly state what their objective is? Do they have a way to meet that objective?
Right.
How is this money gonna help the
Yeah.
objective be met? The connection with the population, that kind of thing. So it really is more objective rather than subjective,
Yeah.
I think. And it is a gradient, obviously, like a 1 through 5 scale. So if they have completely given a great picture to us about how they're gonna use the money and what it's gonna be used for, that's gonna score high
Yeah.
versus not another one. There isn't a whole lot of room for, do we like this project or not in this
Right.
rubric? There really isn't. So,
So it's nice that the plane you're thinking on,
yeah, I know, but in reality,
but
that's.
the reality's down here.
Yeah.
Tom Tureen, the former attorney for the the tribes in Maine and Connecticut. I was on a plane with him at the time, and he explained to me about conflicts of interest.
Mhm.
It's very simple. If there isn't any interest, there isn't any conflict.
Right.
It's that simple. So when your cousin or your best friend or your best friend's brother is the director of an agency, guess what happens to you mentally? I gotta take care of my friend. That
It
it's
is.
kind of human nature thing,
It is.
and it's hard to separate yourself,
Mhm.
but and I'll agree with Laura. I look at things and say, I say, okay, who's on the scoring committee?
Yeah.
And then that's my decision on whether I participate or not. I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's also hard. This is obviously a small community and most
Mhm.
people are connected in some way to somebody somehow.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't be on this committee and be able to advise.
Thankfully, I'm not.
I'll be quiet, Californian.
Got me.
We're all connected.
That's
But,
The rubric itself is either the strongest component you have or the weakest.
Yeah.
There's usually no in between.
Yeah.
And what makes it the weakest? Participants.
No,
Right.
I thought it was.
Is, who was on your committee?
But
so it's the three of us,
I think it was separate.
Sheriff Morton,
Oh.
Angela
Yeah, it's
Walker,
just here.
and Randy Jack.
Yeah,
Do we have on the rubric anywhere that says, do you think this should be fully funded as requested? Sometimes you'll see that in a review that they think the project has merit, but that's too much money.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying, yeah.
I think for the amount of money,
Yeah.
like the cap that we're allowing.
Should be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, like, I feel like that would be more of a consideration if we were
Right.
gonna be
Yeah,
hundreds
you-
of thousands of dollars.
That's
Yep.
true.
But people have to keep it within the scope.
Yep.
Yeah,
So. I think Bangor's gonna get more information on that because of their LOI, because they're not putting a cap on the request in the LOI. Because they wanna know the full scope
Yeah.
of what might be needed. And I think they also put a question in there of what's the least amount of money? I think the county did that for ARPA. What's the least amount of money? Or no, I think the city did that. That you could still get something done.
Yeah.
with.
right,
So,
cause we had a minimum of $5,000.
Oh,
And then the max of, I'm not with this, but I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying, like,
this
when we
is
did ARPA,
up
the
to
minimum was
10,000,
5, yeah.
For the first.
And sometimes it is just a small amount that you need to purchase supplies or,
Yeah.
you know. Even what if it were something like they needed to pay for a certification, you know, or something, it could be. I would hate to have a minimum, but maximum, clearly.
Yep.
And I think too, because it may sound like we're getting a lot of money, but it is over so
Yes.
many years.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll be dead by the time it's done, so it's like,
Yeah, I won't
it's
be.
not. It's just, so what do you?
Which I think it's one of the things I think it was wise when the commissioners asked us to change the amount on the outside.
Yeah.
Because it does give that appearance. People forget when they put that big dollar bill.
Right,
That's over 20 years and we can't spend money we don't have in our hands.
exactly.
And so
Yeah.
it's deceiving to people. The money is there, you're not trying to hide it. But this is just a reality. You just
Right.
need to know, this is all the money we have for this round.
Right.
Because we've only received this amount of money.
And we only get about $225 a year or something,
Yeah.
so that's really not that much.
Yeah.
It's certainly not enough to do like a huge.
Correct. Correct. And
Can't
that's,
build a facility on 50
No.
grand, but.
but I do think it's wise to change that so people aren't thinking.
Yeah.
Again, because you get this accusation that you're sitting on all this money.
Right.
No, the money trickles in. We're spending it as it trickles in.
That's exactly right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That
and
works.
can I interject one other, I know, like coming from the recovery center aspect, last Tuesday morning we get up, all of our funding is gone. And we only have two little grants, you know, one with Bangor Public Health. And then, you know, with the state, luckily, you know, with Senator King, they did get the funds reinstated. I mean, it's $20,000, but $20,000 in Lincoln, Maine
Yeah.
goes a long ways.
Yeah.
And then, so tomorrow morning at 9 AM with Human Service and the Behavioral Health, we have a call. So is that to tell us funding's over at the end of the, you know, you just don't know. You know, that, you know, we operate like with $70,000.
Yeah.
And there's such an impact now because of peer-to-peer closing
Right.
in Millinocket, you know, we have people coming through,
Yeah.
I mean, they have to have that support.
And are you eligible for the second round of RFP that's coming out?
Where this is the third time with the state and the application is 84 pages.
Oh.
We had it, you know, the first time it costs like, you know, $5,000 to get it for a grant writer and finance people. So we're doing it internally this time.
You know, and I think it can be made, well, I know it can be made public. The reason the second round of grant is because this part of the state basically got left out of
Right?
all the
Nothing-
awards.
Yeah, nothing, not the water bill.
Nothing north of Waterville got funded, and so the state felt guilty, so they're
Oh.
doing.
Wait,
what? They felt
We
guilty,
were
and they
looking
sent out a
at
second
it
RFP,
too,
but the
yeah.
barn didn't get it.
No.
Again, it was an error, and that's why, you know, when you talk about geography and weighing this
Yeah.
out, evidently nobody really looked where they were distributing the funds. And once again, rural Maine
Mm.
got short
I
sighted.
was looking and I was like, where is Penobscot County? And then they would list things that said Penobscot County. I said, that's not us. Like, so we weren't even.
Well,
It
I
wasn't-
was,
yeah.
I mean, there was 14 agencies
Yeah.
that, you know, were buying for this pod. and-
Sure. Yeah,
It all went,
sure. Oh, yeah.
so they do, we do, but you do have that, yeah, no, yeah.
folks, I'm gonna bring us
Okay,
back.
all right,
to
back
5
on
minutes. We need to choose our next meeting
Meeting date,
date
yes.
and who's going to be taking minutes while Wendy is away.
And that is like pretty much a month. So if you guys could do that.
I will agree to do it, and
Okay.
hopefully I can be in person, I will take notes, so I'll take that off your hands.
Yay. Okay.
My new computer should be up and running, so I should be fine. Maybe.
If we wanna stick on Mondays from 9 to 10. Our, I don't anticipate we're gonna need to meet before the next commissioners meeting, so do we wanna look at October? I could do the 6th or I believe the 6th.
Can we avoid the first Monday of every month? I have a conflicting meeting that I have that goes from 10 to noon. Can we meet September 29th? The 13th is technically a holiday. So if we
Mhm.
didn't meet the 29th that Monday, we'd have to go to the 20th of October. So if we could do the 29th. And that would be after the commissioners meeting and would have those agreed upon things, and we could
Oh, that's a
hopefully,
good idea. Yeah, it'd be pretty fresh.
yep. Does that
The
work?
29th of September.
September.
I'm balancing all of my students. I've gone back to work. No, I have been
Yeah.
working, my speech students, and they have crazy
Oh, yeah.
alternating schedules. So I'm like, what day is this? Like, is
That would
it
be
an A
hard,
day or
yeah.
a B day?
Oh, God, I worked in a school system for 5 years. It was Green Day and a White Day, and then if there was a holiday, then it went this. And then if there was a snow day, then it turned out to be, and I think, oh, dear God, I can't keep track. Can someone have a sign on the door? Today's a green day, today's a white day.
Right, exactly. Going to the actual. I got it, I've got 4 billion things open right now. 29th.
of September.
Keep. It's in my brain.
Make sure you guys have Marianne's email also, because she is.
Oh, she's the
who
one who's
will-
gonna set it up.
Yeah, she sets up the meeting, also Ryan here. And she's the one that anything that you're gonna send for the meeting, it goes to Marianne. It goes to like administrator, I think,
Mhm.
but it's Marianne. So if you, I always send it to Marianne and.
Okay,
I cannot do the 29th.
okay. Can we
I can
switch?
do. Okay, I can do a Wednesday.
Send
The
a group.
first, no, I can't do the first, just kidding,
Can you do Tuesday, the 30th?
no.
Can we do Tuesday? What does that mean? Can you do Tuesday, the 7th
Tuesday the
of October?
30th. I could do. Like 9:15 to 10:15.
I can do that.
September 30th.
Yep, 30th, Tuesday the 30th. Is anything going on here Tuesdays? The commissioners meet Wednesdays, right?
Right, uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's, you said Tuesday will be a weird, but like 9:15 to 10:15?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Sorry, my schedule just.
We got it.
bonkers.
Well, it's a volunteer group. You can't feel bad.
I know this group does not want to meet after, like, in the afternoons or in the evenings.
I have no problem with afternoons, evenings.
Oh, I won't, but I won't be here.
Right, you all.
But I used to have a friend that said and it was a man, but it works for me today. When I put my tie on, I'm working. When I take it off, I'm not working. So, oh my gosh.
First thing my husband used to do, walk through the door, take the tie
Yeah.
off, take his socks off.
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. The tie came off, jeans went on.
Exactly.
Okay, 30th at 9:15.
Okay, September 30th, 9:15 to 10:15.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And you'll get back to us about the commissioners meeting on the
Oh,
On the-
Scott said it is at 10 a.m.
I am on the
Yes.
24th.
10,
on the
on
24th.
the 24th. Okay,
Yes.
and I got that. And Jamie, I know you can't, but if there's anything you want in advance, if you would let me know.
Yeah, I'll
Either
send
we'll
an email.
talk or send me an email.
Yeah.
And I make sure that I talk about that. And you'll get the application and the rubric to them before the meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will PDF that out.
Absolutely.
And then you can send it
Okay.
on. Okay, for the good of the order, is there anything else for today?
Good.
Okay. So
Okay.
our next meeting will be regrouping after the commissioners.
Yep.
Meeting and making sure that.
Hopefully start some dates.
Yes, well, one last thing we forgot to talk about, and I know I've got stuff, but we're okay, I get a little bit of cushion. The webinar,
Oh, yeah, they said that was that's
okay,
great. I mean, they're why,
right,
yeah.
we should figure out how we're gonna do that once this gets finalized, because you're not gonna be back before we anticipated posting.
And that is a good question for Ryan over here.
Run, Ryan.
Yeah. Because that is something that would be set up with IT. So whoever's available to help with that or to do a webinar, we want to do something that we can tape that people can watch it and
That's what we're doing now.
yeah, but we're gonna walk them through
application.
like how to fill out an application.
Where to find it, how to do it.
Yeah,
Did we wanna schedule it so that people could sign up to be like?
I would
part-
definitely
That's
say you
what I
should
was
register
thinking.
for it, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be like a Zoom registration that people could like sign up to be part of.
Yeah.
that conversation, and it would be.
So I
one
guess
or
in
several
the
of us
essence, it
running
really
through
would
it.
be another meeting, you know what I mean? And then I would say too that it was, for me, when I watch webinars, it's convenient to have the comment section, okay, for the chat, you know, so that people can be like, oh, hey, blah, 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 or I can't hear you, or, you
Yeah.
know. So have that be allowable, and yeah.
So you're gonna be leaving, and we're not gonna get approval on this application until after you're gone.
Yeah, I'll be gone. Yeah,
Um,
exactly. But so you guys will have to work with setting up the webinar.
Okay. Um. Ryan, you have my email? Okay.
But we,
I can put that
Okay, yeah,
Okay, Jamie will.
and then we can kind of coordinate as a committee who wants to help facilitate that and then set the date. Does that sound okay? Okay, and it will probably be sometime during that.
And registration for it.
oh, yeah, we just have to set the dates.
Yeah.
Once we set the dates, then we'll know
Date and time, yeah.
when the webinar can take place.
And then I'll send them in this minutes, I'll be sending to you guys. Today at the end of the day. Yeah.
Because our dates that we assigned they're not gonna go.
Well, I mean, if the commissioners are going to hopefully approve the application on the 24th, we can still open the application on the 1st, like we planned, of October.
Yeah, like you have another week, and if there's anything that needs to be tweaked, it would only take minutes to.
But
do,
you'd have to
yeah.
put that webinar together.
Right, but basically it's just going through the application and people can ask questions and that kind of thing.
And when's the deadline for the application?
November
back.
15th.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
So
yeah, there was
maybe
plenty of
the
time,
first
okay.
week of October. we
Yeah.
could plan
Yeah.
on something,
That's
Yeah.
good too, yeah.
so.
And that would be good, because when I get back, you know, I can help people if they
Right.
need help with the application, I can walk
Yep.
them through it. So-
Tentatively, could we do like Wednesday, October 8th at 1:30?
Yeah, I mean, anyone from my IT, it should be here, but anyone from
Okay.
IT would be able to.
I'm just gonna throw that out. 1:30 to 2:30, so I can block it off on my,
October 8th.
When will the application be available for the, the agencies?
October 1st.
If we get the approval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, Pat, if it comes down to, we can get the application out on time with what they want versus we're gonna go round and round about it and it's gonna get delayed another couple months.
Yeah.
Let's just get it out, because we can have continuing education and conversations about future rounds.
As long as it's on record that I object. I have no problem.
I also object. But
I
without
will
justification.
go at the pleasure of the commission. I just want
Yeah.
to say that, yeah.
Okay, done?
Cool. Thank you all.
Excellent.
All right.